Jai Hind everyone, myself Dr. Vanna Sharma from Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College, Ghaziabad. The subject which I am taking, that subject is Engineering Physics and the subject code is KAS 101T. The topic which I have started, that topic is laser and fiber optics. I have already completed the first part, that is laser, and in my previous lecture I have started with fiber optics. So in fiber optics, first we have discussed that what is the meaning of a communication system. So communication system means that is a combination of three parts: a transmitter which will send the information, receiver which will receive the information, and in between transmitter and receiver there is a communication channel which will carry the information. So that is your communication system. And if that communication channel, if that carries the information in the form of an optical signal, then you will say that type of communication system is optical communication system. And the communication channel which will carry the information in the form of an optical signal, that channel is known as optical fiber. So basically optical fiber, that is a thin cylindrical system where that particular optical fiber is made of glass. Basically the innermost part, that is known as core for an optical fiber, which is surrounded by one more layer known as cladding, and there is one more protecting layer which is known as jacket of optical fiber. So we have already discussed the main components of an optical fiber. After that, in my previous lecture I have discussed about the propagation mechanism in optical fiber. Propagation mechanism means when the signal, when the information that is moving from transmitter to receiver in the form of light or optical signal, then how that signal is moving from one point to other. So we have seen there that the phenomena of total internal reflection, that phenomena is responsible for the propagation of that optical signal from transmitter to receiver. And we also know that total internal reflection, that will take place if light is going from denser to a rarer medium, and if light strikes at the interface at an angle greater than critical angle, then light will reflect back in same medium. So this particular phenomena is known as total internal reflection. So using that total internal reflection, due to those multiple total internal reflections, light will move from transmitter to receiver. So this phenomena we have already discussed, and we also know what is the formula for a critical angle. Critical angle is sine inverse of n2 upon n1, where n2 that represents the refractive index of cladding and n1 represents the refractive index of core. So with the help of that you can find that required parameter, you can find that critical angle. Now today we are going to discuss a very important parameter which is related to optical fibers. So I have given a brief description of that parameter in my previous lecture. So today we are going to discuss this acceptance angle and acceptance cone in detail, and we will also derive an expression for acceptance angle for an optical fiber, right? So first I will try to explain that what is the meaning of acceptance angle in optical fiber. You know, in an optical fiber, the innermost part, this is the innermost part, innermost layer, that innermost layer is known as core of the optical fiber. So this represents the core of this optical fiber. So this is core of the optical fiber, this one is core, and this core is having a refractive index n1. So n1 is the refractive index of core, and this core is surrounded by one more layer, and that layer is known as cladding. So around this core you are having this cladding. So this is cladding, right? And this cladding is having a refractive index n2. So this is cladding with the refractive index N2, and this one is core with the refractive index N1. And this blue line, this dotted blue line, that is known as core axis or fiber axis of this optical fiber, right? You know, when the signal or when the information will enter into the optical fiber, then that information can travel only if the angle of incidence over the core cladding boundary, this is the boundary of core and cladding. So if over this boundary, that light ray, that optical signal, if it strikes at an angle greater than critical angle, if theta is greater than theta c, only then the total internal reflection will take place. Only then the light will come back into the same medium. I hope this point is very much clear. So what you have an optical fiber with a core of refractive index N1, and that core is surrounded by one more layer which is known as cladding, and cladding is always having a lesser refractive index as compared to core. So this N1 is greater than N2. You also have to remember this. N1 is always greater than N2, only then there can be total internal reflection, right? If theta is equal to theta c, if the angle of incidence over this particular point, if theta is equal to theta c, when angle of incidence is equal to critical angle, then what will happen? If theta will be equal to theta c, then the light ray will move parallel to this core cladding boundary. You can see here this red arrow, this particular line, this is representing the light ray when angle of incidence over the core cladding boundary is equal to critical angle. So when theta will be theta c, even then the light can move from this end to this end, but in that case light will move parallel to core cladding interface. It means that threshold condition beyond which you can talk about the movement of signal from transmitter to receiver, that condition is angle of incidence should be greater than or equal to theta c. So this is the condition under which the signal can move from transmitter to receiver. Means if theta is theta c, then light will move parallel to core cladding boundary. Light can travel from this end, from transmitting end to receiving end. Light will be received over this particular point. And if theta is greater than theta c, light will reflect back in the same medium, and then it will suffer multiple total internal reflections, and light will finally received by the receiver. So these are the two conditions under which the light can propagate in this optical fiber. So now how this term acceptance angle that is associated with this critical angle, so that we have to understand here. So for this I am going to explain it with the help of these three mediums. So you have first medium here. This is the launching medium from where the light is entering into the optical fiber. So the first one is that N is the refractive index of launching medium here. What is the meaning of launching medium? Launching medium means that particular medium from where the light is entering into the optical fiber. And generally this launching medium from where the light is entering into the optical fiber, that launching medium is generally air. So if this launching medium is air, then N will be equal to 1. But this 1 is only for air. If launching medium is other than air, then you have to take the refractive index of that particular medium, right? So you have this medium from where the light is entering into the optical fiber. And when light is entering into the optical fiber, it means light is entering into the core of that fiber. And you know, this core is having a refractive index N1, and that N1 is greater than N2. Now suppose you are having air here. So when light is going from air to this glass of refractive index N1, light is going from rarer to a denser medium. You know, when light will move from a medium of one refractive index to a medium of a different refractive index, either the light will bend towards the normal or that will bend away from the normal. So it will be decided whether the light is going from rarer to denser or denser to rarer. So here light is going from rarer to a denser medium. So light will bend towards the normal. So this ray, this XA, it is entering into the optical fiber, and when it will enter, so you can see this particular line, that is a normal on interface of these two mediums N and N1. So over this point, over this particular point, light will bend towards the normal. So this alpha is the angle of incidence here and theta is the angle of refraction. Now this ray that will move further into this optical fiber, and this ray will strike over the boundary of this core and cladding. So when light will strike over this particular point, so when light will strike it at this point, at point B, this angle which is made by the incident ray at this point, this angle will be decided by the angle at which the light is entering into the optical fiber. So this external angle alpha, it is going to affect the value of this angle of incidence here. So acceptance angle is actually that angle. This alpha will be acceptance angle if for this angle, for this external angle, if this angle of incidence is equal to critical angle. So for that external angle for which the incident angle of incidence over the core cladding boundary is equal to critical angle, that external angle is known as acceptance angle. So I hope to some extent this concept of acceptance angle is clear now. Acceptance angle is actually the external angle which is made by this incident ray with the fiber axis, for which angle of incidence is equal to critical angle. Why I am saying this angle is acceptance angle? Acceptance angle means that particular angle for which the light is accepted by optical fiber. So you know that the threshold condition is that light will be accepted only if theta is greater than or equal to theta c. So it means if theta is equal to theta c here, light will be accepted by the fiber and light will move from transmitter to receiver, right? So if this external angle is having any value less than alpha or less than acceptance angle, then for those light rays at this point, angle of incidence will be greater than critical angle. It means this acceptance angle is the maximum external angle for which the light is accepted by the optical fiber. Or in simple words you can say acceptance angle is the angle made by incident ray with the fiber axis for which angle of incidence over the core cladding boundary is equal to critical angle. So that is a one way to define this acceptance angle, and in other words you can say it is that maximum external angle for which the light can propagate from transmitter to receiver. Or you can say if the light strikes over this optical fiber from this launching medium of refractive index n, then the external angle for which light angle of incidence over the core cladding boundary is equal to critical angle, that external angle is known as acceptance angle. So there are different ways to define that acceptance angle, but the meaning of that term is same. It is the maximum external angle for which the light is accepted by optical fiber, right? So this is your acceptance angle. So now let me acceptance angle, as you can see here, acceptance angle is maximum angle of a ray against the fiber axis which is hitting the fiber core, which allows the incident angle to be guided by the core. Means for this acceptance angle, for this external angle, light will be guided through this optical fiber from one end, from this transmitting end to receiving end. Right? And the sign of this acceptance angle, if you will take sign of that acceptance angle, sign of this alpha, then that sign of alpha is known as numerical aperture. So that is another parameter associated with these optical fibers. The first one is acceptance angle. So I hope up to now this point is clear. This external angle which is made by the incident ray with fiber axis, that is your acceptance angle if angle of incidence is equal to critical angle here. So for that angle for which theta is equal to theta c, that external angle is your acceptance angle, and it is a maximum external angle for which the light is accepted by optical fiber. If light will enter at any angle lesser than this alpha, then that light will suffer total internal reflection here. For all those light rays, theta will be greater than theta c. For alpha, theta will be theta c. For any value less than alpha, theta will be greater than theta c. So all those light rays will be accepted by the optical fiber. So one more point I would like to highlight here. If you are rotating this ray, this XA, if you are rotating this ray about the fiber axis, this is your fiber axis. So if you are rotating this ray about the fiber axis, give me 1 minute. If you are rotating this ray about this fiber axis, then you will get a cone here. You are getting this cone, and all the light rays which are entering through this cone, all these rays which are entering into this optical fiber within this cone, all those light rays, they will make an angle over the core cladding boundary greater than critical angle, and you know all those light rays will be accepted by the optical fiber. So this cone is known as acceptance cone. So what you have here? You have an optical fiber here. This is your optical fiber. So the innermost part is known as core. This is the innermost part which is known as core. This is fiber axis. So suppose you are having this ray which corresponds to acceptance angle. This is your acceptance angle for which the angle of incidence over the core cladding boundary, that will become critical angle. You know that is a definition of acceptance angle. If you are rotating this ray, this particular ray which corresponds to this acceptance angle about this fiber axis, then what you will get? You will get a cone here. This is a cone, and all those light rays which will enter through this cone, all these rays which are entering through this cone, so when they will enter into this optical fiber, then these light rays, they will make an angle over the core cladding boundary greater than critical angle. And you know all such type of light rays which will strike over the core cladding boundary at an angle greater than critical angle, all those light rays will be accepted by optical fiber. So that is the definition of acceptance cone. So you can define acceptance cone like this. If you are rotating the ray corresponding to acceptance angle about the fiber axis, then we will get a cone, and all the light rays which are entering through that cone, they will be accepted by optical fiber. So that cone is known as your acceptance cone. So I hope now acceptance angle and acceptance cone is clear. Now the next one is, if you are taking sine of that acceptance angle, means sine of alpha, that is known as numerical aperture. And this numerical aperture, that represents the light gathering capacity of the optical fiber. So this parameter, that gives us the light gathering capacity of the optical fiber. So up to now we have discussed about 3 important parameters of optical fiber, and those 3 parameters, they are the deciding factors. The first one was critical angle. So according to that concept, only the light rays which will strike over the core cladding boundary at an angle greater than critical angle or equal to critical angle, they can move from transmitter to receiver. So IC, that is the first important parameter. Second is acceptance angle. So actually acceptance angle is external angle, or the angle made by the incident external ray with the fiber axis at which the angle of incidence over the core cladding boundary is critical angle. So, or you can say it is a maximum external angle for which the light is accepted by the optical fiber. And if you are rotating this ray about fiber axis, you will get a cone, and all those light rays which are entering through that cone, those light rays those light rays will be accepted by the optical fiber. So that cone is known as acceptance cone, and the sign of acceptance angle is numerical aperture. So now we will derive an expression for this acceptance angle and numerical aperture. So in order to find this acceptance angle, we are going to use Snell's law. So we are having three mediums here. You can see here, this is your first medium with refractive index n, that is your launching medium. This is second medium with refractive index n1, and the third one is this cladding with refractive index n2. So first, the light that is having an interface of two medium at this particular end, at this point, at point A, there is an interface of two medium. One is medium number 1, launching medium, and the other one is core. And when light will reach over this particular point, again there is an interface of two mediums, that is core and cladding. So what we are going to do here, we are going to apply that Snell's law first for these two mediums and then for this core and cladding. So first, for this launching medium and core, so when you will apply that Snell's law between this launching medium and core, you can see here this alpha is the angle of incidence and this theta is the angle of refraction here. So according to Snell's law, what you will get here, n sine alpha, that will be equal to n1 sine theta. So this n sine alpha is equal to n1 sine theta. This is according to your Snell's law. Then you can see here, suppose this point is, just give me 1 minute. Let this point is D point. I am writing this point as D. So now you are having a triangle here, ABD. And in this triangle, as you can see here, this angle is theta, this is theta C, and this particular angle is 90 degree. So from here you can write theta plus theta C is 90. So what will be the value of theta? It will be 90 minus theta C. This is the value of this angle of refraction in terms of theta C. So for now, next what we are going to do, we are going to substitute the value of theta as theta C. So if you will substitute theta as theta C, what you will get? N sine alpha, that will be equal to n1 sine 90 minus theta C. And you know, sine 90 minus theta C, that will be your cos theta C. So we have reached at this particular point. N sine alpha is equal to n1 cos theta C. Now we have to find the value of alpha here. Our aim is to find the value of acceptance angle. So what will be the value of sine alpha? Sine alpha will be equal to n1 upon n into cos theta C. So now only one term is left here. We have to find this cos theta C. What is n1? That is refractive index of core. What is n? Refractive index of launching medium. And what is theta C? That is your critical angle. And you know, this external angle, if this external angle, this is external angle, if this is acceptance angle, then the angle of incidence over this core cladding boundary, over this point, that is equal to theta C. Means this external angle will be acceptance angle only if this angle is equal to theta C. That's why we have written here theta as 90 minus theta C when this angle is alpha. right? So now we are having this sine alpha as n1 upon n into cos theta c. Now we will find the value of this cos theta c. So for that you have to apply Snell's law for core and cladding. So over this point, now you have to apply that Snell's law. So from here you can see this n1 sine theta c is equal to, what will be the angle of refraction? If theta I is theta c, what will be the angle of refraction here? You can see here angle of refraction will be 90 degree. So n1 sine theta c will be equal to n2 sine 90, and you know what is the value of sine 90? That is 1. So you have sine theta c as n2 upon n1. So if sine theta c is n2 upon n1, what will be cos theta c? It is under root 1 minus sine square theta c. Now substitute the value of theta c from there. It is n2 upon n1. So you will get here under root 1 minus n2 square upon, so this is sine theta c. So under root 1 minus sine square theta c. Substitute the value of theta c as n2 upon n1. So you are getting here sine alpha as n1 upon n into cos theta c. Substitute the value of cos theta c here. You are having this expression. Now just simplify it. You will simplify it. You will get under root n1 square in the denominator, and in numerator you will get n1 square minus n2 square. And if you will take this n1 square outside this under root, that will be n1 will get cancelled. So finally what you are getting? You are getting sine alpha is equal to 1 upon n under root n1 square minus n2 square. And you know, generally this launching medium is air. So if launching medium is air, then you can substitute the refractive index of air there. So sine of alpha will be equal to under root n1 square minus n2 square. What is n1? n1 is the refractive index of core. What is n2? Refractive index of cladding. So next, alpha is, you have to find acceptance angle. So it is sine inverse of under root n1 square minus n2 square. So this is your expression for acceptance angle, right? And you know, sine of acceptance angle is known as numerical aperture. This term is known as numerical aperture. So numerical aperture is sine alpha equals to under root n1 square minus n2 square, right? So you are having 3 important parameters related to optical fibers in terms of refractive index of core and cladding. What are those 3 parameters? The first one is critical angle. You know what is the value of critical angle? IC or theta c, whatever notation you want to use, you can use. So IC, or you can say critical angle, it is sine inverse of n2 upon n1. So this is the first formula which you have to remember, and this formula is related with these optical fibers because this critical angle is a very important parameter. Only this angle can decide the propagation mechanism in optical fibers. Second one is acceptance angle. You know what is the formula for acceptance angle? It is sine inverse of under root n1 square minus n2 square. So if you have refractive index of core and refractive index of cladding, you can easily find the value of acceptance angle. It is simply sine inverse under root n1 square minus n2 square. And the third one is numerical aperture, which is your sine of acceptance angle, or you can say under root n1 square minus n2 square. So we will solve numericals based upon these 3 expressions. That is, if the refractive index of core is given, cladding is given, we can find the critical angle, we can find acceptance angle, and we can also find the value of numerical aperture. Okay, so this is your acceptance angle and numerical aperture. Now the next one, this particular topic now we are going to discuss. Name of the topic is cutoff parameter or V number associated with optical fibers. So let me first discuss about this cutoff parameter or V number. The V number is a dimensionless parameter which is often used in case of step index fibers. So I am going to discuss these optical fibers further in the classification of optical fibers there. And this cutoff parameter or V number, that is given by this formula. So you have this formula for this V number or cutoff parameter, 2 pi a upon lambda into under root n1 square minus n2 square, or you can write this V number as 2 pi a upon lambda into numerical aperture. I hope this is clear. Because you know numerical aperture is sine of alpha, and sine of alpha is under root n1 square minus n2 square. So if you have the value of numerical aperture, then using this formula you can write this V number, or if you have the refractive index of core and cladding, then you can use that formula. Now we will try to understand that what is the significance of this cutoff parameter of V number. Actually, in an optical fiber, how many modes or how many light rays can travel from transmitter to receiver, that is given by this V number or cutoff parameter. But I am saying you have an optical fiber, suppose this is your optical fiber. Now how many light rays can propagate from transmitter to receiver? How many light rays can move from this end to this end? That will be given by this V number or cutoff parameter. So how it will decide those number of modes? So that is given by the next expression. In this formula, this lambda is the operating wavelength, A, that is the diameter of the core. You have this optical fiber with innermost layer as core. So the diameter of that core, this A is the radius. So this A is known as radius of this optical fiber, lambda is the operating wavelength. You know what is the value of N1 and N2. N1 is your refractive index of core and N2 is refractive index of cladding. So just remember that A is core radius, that is not core diameter, I have mentioned it wrong there. So A is core radius, right? And with the help of this V number, how you will find number of modes? So that formula to give those number of modes, that formula is this one. This is the formula for number of modes in a step index optical fiber. So if you have the V number, the number of modes will be equal to V square upon 2. So you have to remember this particular formula. If the value of this V number is approximately 2.405, then that optical fiber that will support only single mode. It means if only a single mode is propagating from transmitter to receiver, if only a single light ray can travel from transmitter to receiver, then for such type of optical fiber, this V number, it is having approximately this much value, 2.405. And for a multi-mode optical fiber, this V number is having value greater than that 2.405, right? So that is a criteria using which you can say that fiber is a single mode fiber or a multi-mode fiber. Single mode means when a single ray is propagating. Multi-mode means when a large number of light rays are propagating. So what is the meaning of this cutoff parameter? Actually, cutoff parameter or that V number, that is mathematically 2 pi a upon lambda into numerical aperture. This is a formula for V number, and using this number of modes are V square upon 2. So this is for step index optical fibers, and in those fibers, if only single mode is supported, then this V number is approximately 2.405, and for multi-mode operation, that V number is having value greater than 2.405. So this is about your cutoff parameter. So this is again another factor or another parameter associated with optical fibers. So you have first important parameter associated with optical fiber, that is your critical angle. Then you have acceptance angle. Then you have numerical aperture. Now you have this cutoff parameter, right? Okay, thank you.